stuff. It's from Germany. It's used often, well, it's used for gold leaf, and it's used outside often on sculpture and stuff. It's very durable. It'll hold up to rain and abuse. So when I do a spray finish of the end, I make a mask for this out of paper, lay it on there, spray it, and lift it off. Because when you put a finish on top of gold leaf, it dulls it. It'll be nice and shiny. Okay, this. Oh gosh. This is what you want to do if you have this at home is
It's a liquid.
decant it. Decant enough. That's more than enough to do this icon. But
One
you can
icon.
see it's kind of thick, right? So you have to thin it down. You have to thin it down to do this method. And see, it's got bubbles in it. You kind of try to move those to the side. Make sure everything is super clean. There's no dirt or dust, because that'll show up. And see all these little bubbles? You don't want to pick those up with your brush. And it's very thick. There, that's better. See that little speck of something? I don't want to put that on here. If you want to pop, take your time and pop some of the bubbles, or at least push them off to the side. This has to be done a little bit quick. So you load your brush, fully loaded, being careful not to spill it on anything. You start on one side and go around to the other. You can't go back and forth, or start over here and then do it over here and meet up somewhere, because it'll be a lump. You want it to be nice and even. It could be a little thinner. Put it near it and then spread it. Yeah, it's still thick. And if you look at it under, you see the light glinting on the surface of it. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
That's how shiny your gold's going to be. If you see little flaws in there, you're going to see flaws in your gold. This is the surface that the gold is going to look like. It's going to be just as shiny as this when you're done. See, there's a couple little bubbles in there. It's not too late. It's not too late to get them out. But if you waited till I got up to here, go back in there, you'll be working with lumps. And then that's not going to work, you know. So what I usually do, if I see a bubble, I try to pull it over to at least to the edge, you know. So you have to work a little bit fast. And I'll be with you, so and we can adjust to. You always put the lid on this when you're doing it, because it evaporates really quickly. Every place you put this, that gold will stick. So move kind of quick, And you can see that it's leveling, you know. This is very similar to oil. You ever heard of oil gilding?
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar because the oil self-levels also. It's done very similarly. But the oil, you have to, it can be a little futzy, and you have to figure out how long you have to wait, because you can't, some oil you have to wait for which oil which shellac you buy. Do you folks from Fort Belvoir, do you remember Anthony? Anybody here remember Anthony? He was in the group for a while.
Oh, yes.
An
Yes,
older
yes,
fellow,
yes.
he passed away.
Oh.
He used to oil gild, remember? Yeah.
You
You
actually
can-
have a lot more water in it, Wayne.
Should it? What's that?
You have a lot more water.
I just want to make sure it levels.
Okay.
But you can put too much water in it.
You could.
You can, and it won't work. It'll look all grainy. I know because I've done it. I had to develop this method because they don't. You know, you watch the YouTube videos on this, and they don't have you doing it like this because they're not doing halos. They're doing whole, and you just use a big brush. So move along and don't take any breaks. You gotta keep at it.
You can use gold leaf also.
This is we're gonna do gold leaf over
After
top of
this.
this. This is the first step.
That's the.
This is the first step. This is what the gold sticks to. Yeah.
You're not touching the board, are you, Wayne? You're just
Barely. I'm just kind of stirring it around. That's why I'm using this light brush. If you use a heavy brush, you're kind of digging into it, and you don't need to. You just stir it around and move it so it's and just spread it and join it to the other. See, I usually put the next to the
You see, he puts
and
a
then
puddle,
stir it a
then he
little bit and join it.
joins
So
it.
you don't
Yeah.
wait until get full dry, right? So it's
You
still
have
wet.
to do it before it dries.
Right.
It's already starting to set up over here. It's still wet, but if I went back into that, there
Yeah,
would be
you
some
can-
problems.
You can't go back.
You can't go back when you wait that long. Or, see, there's a
Bubble.
chunk of something, so you just have to deal with it as you go along. But it looks like this is going to come out pretty good. It looks pretty shiny. And if there's any dust, it's going to show. There's a little grit or dirt, it's going to show.
What I'm saying
There's
is,
a
you
bubble.
put the gold leaf on top of that, it doesn't really much affect. It's some kind of a dust or whatever, because the gold leaf top of it won't show anything.
Gold shows
Just
every
asking.
flaw.
It will show
That's-
whatever is underneath.
Gold will
Underneath,
show every
okay.
flaw.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every single flaw.
Okay.
That's how it is.
Thank you.
Okay, it's done. So what you do is just set it aside. Don't touch it.
No, what is that?
What is what?
I think hair.
Oh, that's,
a little
don't
bit-
worry, it's just a little bit discolored.
Yeah.
It's all right. The gold's gonna cover. So just leave it
Yeah,
sit. You don't need much of this. Actually, it's just a film. You don't have to mix this stuff. It's already, mixed. So I just load this and take some of it off because it's too wet. And everywhere you put this, it'll stick. Well, it's not going to stick to the hair, but it sticks to the yellow stuff. I'm doing it in the raking light so I can see where I've done it, you know?
What is the name of that again?
This is
The
called
Activator.
Activator. It's part of the system.
Okay.
It's a two-part system.
Thank you, man.
And then you just let it dry.
That's it.
And then you take the gold. This is gold leaf. I remount. This is loose leaf, which I mounted. I'll show you how to do this later. I mounted it on plastic, not plastic, wax paper, so you can manage it. Otherwise, it'd be flying all over the place, you know. And if you want, you can cut it in half, make it more manageable, maybe. You have to be careful when you do this. And the scissors should be real sharp. Should be dry enough. So, holding it with one hand, you try not to waste it. So, with the other hand, you anchor it, you know, and then rub it. And then lift it this way. Don't lift it the other way. You want it to rip there, so you lift it here. And see how it rips. But then you'll notice, well, it didn't stick there, so maybe find a little there. Didn't stick there. You can come back and fix this, or you can fix it as you go. Sometimes if it doesn't want to stick, you can breathe on it. See that? There's a little. I'm trying to economize and use less.
Like I did with Luis's Marie.
And the wax paper won't stick to it. I love the idea of the wax paper.
Yeah.
Well, you get the idea, right? But you try to do it in such a way that you don't waste anything, or waste as little as possible. Thank you. A little bit of breath helps the gold to stick, of course. The gold is about $3 or $4 a sheet, I think. Well, it's going up all the
I
time.
think I paid us over $60 for one pack.
Yeah, one pack is
Yeah.
25 leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's getting more expensive.
It's getting more expensive.
So I'm sure it's more
true.
now.
It does. It just goes up. When I first started, it was like $20 a pack. Now it's 60.
Yeah, 60.
Some, sometimes more, sometimes less. All depends on the gold price at the moment.
Yeah,
It fluctuates
I
daily.
think exactly the same kind.
Always put a little bit of,
Pressure.
always overlap ever so
overlap.
slightly, because if you don't, you end up with a void, and then you go try to fix it, and you end up wasting gold doing that. If I can do this with one piece, that'd be something. See that? We got some leftovers for patching.
Yeah.
So just, you know, put it aside.
Don't waste.
There's a bump, but don't worry about that bump. We'll fix that later. We can paint little things on it. See, that'll be perfect in that little spot, wouldn't it? Just fits. Let's see, well, we'll make it fit. I'll be happy to do this for you, but if you want to try it yourself, you're welcome. But just remember, try to economize and use and not waste it, you know. That's all I ask. And it's very reflective, as you can see. Sometimes it's hard to see where did I do it? Where's a missing spot? If you hold the stuff over it, you can see through it and you can see where it's missing. See, there's a couple little holes there. Over here, there's a spot. Sometimes it's difficult to see. Let's see. Looks pretty good. Is that a spot? I don't know. Alrighty. Don't worry about the edge too much if it looks a little ragged, because we're going to put a line and it's going to cover the edge, the very edge. So you don't have to worry too much. There's a spot. Could use some help. Okay, then you take a piece of this stuff. It's very soft. Double it up a little bit. It's very soft cloth. And just lightly rub it and shine it. See how it shines up?
You use like a polishing cloth?
It's a polishing cloth. Yes, it's very soft.
Cotton works too, right, Zane?
What?
Cotton.
Cotton? Yeah, but cotton can be a little abrasive too if you press too hard. You know? But you can see how shiny it is.
Wow.
You can see your face in it, you know?
Fancy.
Fancy schmancy, right?
Yeah.
Can I touch?
It almost feels like felt.
Felt, like felt
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
good. Felt is good.
Feels like felt.
It is a kind of felt, I guess.
Yeah, it is felt.
And no, wait, this. Oh, yeah, this is the dry end. I just a little bit of moisture, a little bit of spit. And well, anyway, if it does stick, don't worry. What I do is a toothpick, a wet toothpick, just moist. You can just rub it, not scrape it, just rub it, and it comes right off. Okay.
We have a toothpick.
So you want to clean that up a little bit?
Wayne,
Maybe.
don't we paint that area?
You can, yes.
Okay.
And you can go back over and do a line around the head and that'll clean it up too. But if this stuff gets stuck out here, you see gold flecks here and there. Comes off with an eraser. If you get too close, use a toothpick and a little bit of spit or water.
For stuff that gets stuck around here,
Yeah.
outside, you can use masking tape. I mean, painter's tape.
Yeah, like there's a little spot right here. You want to get that off. There's a couple little flecks. Okay? This one's ready to spray.